If you had to summarize your presentation in one sentence, what would it be?
Yeah, so my presentation was preparing CIOs for a future where we can manage services as well as technologies and help the business innovate.
Okay, and what do the topics leadership and innovation mean to you?
Well, the leadership from the CIO perspective, requires not only leadership, with the business, providing service excellence as well as innovative ideas, but also leadership within IT to take the IT organization into a new direction.
In what ways has it changed the last years, those dimensions from IT in the business?
Well, both in the business and in leading IT, the major change really is not so much the technology, but the pace of change. Pace of change is really accelerated, which means we need to think differently about what capabilities we have in the IT organization and how we relate to the business and developing a much more closer working relationship with the business.
Okay. So, can you name a typical CEO challenge for the year 2013? And what would you suggest to solve that challenge?
So, the biggest challenge that we see is, I'd say, is IT talent. We're trying to, develop talent for the future, and with the rate of change that I mentioned, that it's difficult to develop internally, and it can be also difficult to find externally.
Okay. You worked previously as a CEO at Royal Ahold, I read. And what did you learn from the Dutch? How do they approach leadership and innovation?
Do you know, I often tell my American colleagues that it was a really a special opportunity to work with the Dutch, that they're excellent merchants, they're very innovative, and that the relationship between IT and the business is very close, and there's great business involvement in the use of technology, and it's really has demonstrated its value to their business.
Okay. You talked in your presentation a lot about the cloud, different forms of cloud. Can a modern CEO survive without cloud?
I don't meet too many CIOs today who don't have some sort of cloud services in their portfolio. So I guess the answer is no. And the business leaders are out buying cloud services as well as IT. It's just the direction that we're going in. I say, software as a service is widely accepted. What's not yet as widely accepted is infrastructure as a service, but we see the cost opportunity, cost savings opportunity that is as being so great as to be, undeniable within another year. So we see much more movement to infrastructure as well as software as a service.
Yeah. You haven't mentioned platform as a service. What do you see for the platform as a service offerings in 2013?
So, acceptance has been slow. We see platform as a service as really being the next integration platform for CIOs, and that movement in this area will probably follow more infrastructure as a service. And that we think acceptance should be higher, quite honestly, because it is the future.
Okay. What's the main difference between the agendas of American CEOs and Dutch IT managers?
Well, I highlighted in my presentation this morning, there's still more focus on business alignment in Western Europe than in the United States. In the U.S., I think that there has been more direct business involvement in the acquisition of technology and leading technology innovations. As a consequence, the lines between IT and the business in the U.S. have blurred significantly in some industries. And maybe that change just hasn't come to Europe quite yet.
Okay. What can a Dutch CEO do now to compete in 2020?
I'm sorry, a CIO?
A Dutch CEO. Yeah. What can a Dutch CEO do now to compete in 2020?
Yes. Yeah, I think the most important thing is to think about, your services portfolio. It's not so much about technology services as business services. If you start to look at software as a service as something that's part of your portfolio and a growing part of your portfolio, and I think that also to separate, the focus on building systems from the focus on managing services within your organization will give you much more clarity about the value that you can provide to the business. Okay.
And how do you think the role of the CEO will change coming years? Does he lose his grip on the IT administration and his IT budget?
So I actually think that we might go through another rebranding. Many years ago, it was called Management Information Systems, and I think for the future, I think information services is a good title. So when we talk about the technology spend, technology is going through a significant abstraction. If you think of virtualization, and when you look at cloud, we're no longer managing the storage, the computing, the network capacity. All of that is available. It's massively scalable and available on demand. It's a metered service, and so when you think about the control that they want, they really want to make sure that they have control over services as a first priority.
Okay. And you're from IDC, you're an IDC researcher. How can IDC help businesses? What's your most important offering?
We look at best practices across industries and across markets. And so we're able to really advise CIOs on, what are some of the best ideas, in the market for changing and developing, high impact IT organization, in a period of time where there's, rapid change.